The Game Awards has come and gone, and we didn't get any kind of glimpse or reveal about the third part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. Some people were disappointed, some people were quite angry, and some people are just wondering where it could be. We're going to be talking about that in today's video, so I'm hoping you can join me today for this one. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you like the content you are seeing, please consider hitting that like button, it helps out more than you know. And if you want to stick around for some more Final Fantasy content, then you're already in the right place. Just hit that subscribe button. Now the last video I did was talking about news for Final Fantasy at the Game Awards, going over some potential things that could be happening. None of those things happened. Heck, nothing Square Enix really happened. We got a very small sizzle reel that included Final Fantasy VII Remake for the Switch 2 on it, because that is fast approaching, coming early next year on January the 22nd. But a lot of people going into the Game Awards thought this was the time for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 to at least get its title reveal, but it did not. Now many of you are probably excited and wanting to scratch that Final Fantasy VII itch, and I urge you to go back and play the original and play it with mods so it looks like what you are seeing on the screen right now. It is a great way to play Final Fantasy VII. All you need to do this is the Steam version, and I've got you covered thanks to our partners at Instant Gaming, where you can pick it up at just over $6, and then you can go crazy with the mods and make the Final Fantasy VII Remake you want. If you already have Final Fantasy VII, there are thousands upon thousands of games on Instant Gaming's website at incredible prices, including the newly released Octopath Traveler 0 at just over $43, and that has hours of content for you to enjoy. Or why not go get Game of the Year 2025 Clair Obscur Expedition 33 for just over $30. Not only will you be saving money, but you'll be helping out the channel. And I'll go one step further. We have a giveaway. We do this every month for you to win any game off the website. Just click those links down below and you'll be in for a chance to win. So thanks to Instant Gaming and happy shopping. Now back to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. I was definitely in the camp of, hey, this is very likely to happen. We could see that title reveal. That's all we need, because as you can see by the title of this video, I have used the words Part 3 and I've used the words Part 3 for many of my videos, and I just want that retitle. Again, let me know what you think that is in the comment section down below. But we didn't even get that, and that leaves the question, what is going on with Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3? And I really don't think there's anything to worry about. It's quite clear that they've got a plan in mind. And if you're someone that's asking, well, what about that privated video and the updated playlist? I think you are looking too much into things and you just need to calm down a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. We did get a Hamaguchi kind of outburst of interviews talking about Part 3, but I think a lot of people clouded, no pun intended, their judgment when it came to it, because this was a media run of talking about the Switch 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, and down the line Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming to Switch 2. And of course, because it's the most anticipated thing, the final part of the game, those questions are going to be asked. We need to remember that that's what it's about. That's what's next on the list. And I think that's the thing you need to consider when going into Part 3, that we are getting Remake and Rebirth on Switch 2 and Xbox, and then it'll be out on all systems ready for Part 3. I think that's their plan. They want everyone to be in the same boat. Now that doesn't mean we're not going to get any news until Rebirth is released on the Switch 2, which I believe the latest news on that is that it's going to actually be hitting by the end of 2026. So we'll be getting Remake and Rebirth on Switch 2. But I do think smack bang in the middle is probably the time we need to be looking at for a reveal of Part 3. I don't actually think we're going to get a title revealed trailer. I think they might actually just dive straight into the marketing for this one. And to come to this conclusion, we need to look back just a little bit. When Remake first got revealed in 2015, we didn't really hear anything until 2019. Yes, there was the changing of the studios and the project getting reset, but it was a long time, and then once it got revealed, it only took around, I think around a year until the marketing began in 2019 till it's released. Yes, it got a delay a little bit, but it was around a year of marketing. Then we look at Rebirth. Rebirth was a bit of a unique situation because because we had the 25th anniversary broadcast where Square Enix decided to reveal Rebirth's title. We had radio silence for an entire year. It wasn't until Summer Game Fest the next year after that initial reveal that where marketing began, and that was around an 8-month marketing cycle. And we know that Square Enix, when it comes to their games, we've not witnessed it yet with AAA titles, but their marketing cycles for all their games like Dragon Quest VII, Octopath Traveler 0, which has just come out, their marketing cycles are no more than around 6 months. Now I suspect that for AAA titles they're going to do it a little bit longer than that because they want to get as much hype as possible going into that release, but it's quite clear that Square Enix have learnt from their mistakes of announcing games too early. Yes, I'm looking at Kingdom Hearts 4 and Dragon Quest 12. We'll talk about those games a little bit later in the week, but it's clear that the marketing cycles are going to be a bit more concise and we won't need to really wait a long time. So for me personally, yes, we have a birthday coming up in January after the release of FF7 Remake on the Switch 2, and that would be a go-to. Hey, they could do a title reveal there, and I'll remain optimistic for that date, but I think realistically I think they're going to dive straight into marketing and reveal the title when they're ready to reveal gameplay and a actual release window, or at least a release date, and all signs actually point to, again, Summer Games Fest. Now for us fans of Final Fantasy VII Remake, we would be very excited to have that title reveal at the Game Awards, and we really wouldn't mind for the wait. A title and a small 30-second sizzle is all we need to get our teeth into Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, but I think the wider audience tend to just not be hyped for games that get announced way too early, or at least have a big window of time. So having Summer Games Fest be the spot where Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 has its beginning of its story told in its lead up to its release makes a lot of sense, and I think I'm starting to put chips on the table for that date in particular. Again, we do have the anomaly of Remake and Rebirth coming to Switch 2 and Xbox, but I think that the end plan is to make this a multi-platform release. We could go into specifics of, they might still be in a marketing deal with Sony, it might be a limited release. It's things that we can tackle at a later time, but it's quite clear, especially after looking at through Hamaguchi interviews, that he wants this to be available for everyone and have the trilogy there for everyone to experience, and not have people have to wait 6 months on their platform of choice to be able to play this ending of the trilogy. So for me, even though I like to talk about Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII in general at every single kind of major event, I think that we're not going to hear anything until probably June. A lot of you might say, hey, there's a state of play that happens around February time. That could be a good spot. Yes, I agree. That could be also a good spot to get things kicked off. Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Switch 2 would have already released. People would have played it. I expect that to do really well, by the way, just because of the audience that's doing and just the praise it's been getting for people that have previewed Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Switch 2, and then keeping that momentum moving with a Part 3 reveal and release window. We'll continue that for 2026 hype cycle. You release Remake in January, you do a Part 3 reveal in February, you show more in June, you do a little bit more in September, you go to the Game Awards in December, and then boom, we're at 2027, 30th anniversary and everything. I think that could actually happen. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, hey, maybe February is the time. So we'll talk about it closer to the time if a state of play gets announced of a potential reveal there, but we really don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts down below on what you think. Were you upset that there was no reveal? Was you expecting it? I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to visit Instant Gaming to get games at incredible prices, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.